Today we're talking about precipitation, and you already should have learned that there are four main types of precipitation: rain, snow, sleet, and hail. It's important to remember that no matter what form of precipitation we're talking about, they're all water, whether they're liquid water or solid water. Sleet, snow, and hail are all examples of ice or snow. They are solid water. Rain is the only form of liquid water that falls from the sky. So the question is, what makes one type of precipitation fall and not another? And it all has to do with temperature, how hot or how cold the air is that the precipitation is in. So for example, rain. When rain falls, it falls as a liquid, but I don't know if you know this, but it could actually start off as snow. High up in the atmosphere, you already know that it's very, very cold. And if a snowflake were to fall in the high upper atmosphere where it's really, really cold, as it got lower to the earth on a warm day, eventually that snowflake would melt and turn into rain. So sometimes in Florida, if you look up and see those thin, wispy cirrus clouds, those could actually be ice crystals or snow. But if the snow falls, it doesn't really land as snow. It usually lands as water, depending on how warm it is. So if it's warm near the earth, usually rain's going to fall. Now let's talk about sleet. Sleet's a little more complicated. Sleet is this type of precipitation that ends up falling as a frozen raindrop. Now it can start in two different ways. It could start as a raindrop in the upper atmosphere if it was warm in the upper atmosphere, and start as a raindrop, and as it gets closer to Earth where it's really cold on a cold winter day, it could freeze into a piece of sleet. Or it could even start really high in the upper atmosphere, start as snow, fall down, melt into a raindrop, and then fall down and freeze into a piece of sleet. But as long as it falls as sleet, it falls through freezing air at the end and turns into a piece of sleet. Let's talk about snow. Snow can only form one way. It's very unique. Snow has to happen when a cloud forms in the upper atmosphere and it's really, really cold, and that condensation never gets a chance to form into a raindrop. It actually forms directly into ice crystals and builds a snowflake. Now, if that happens and the snow falls out of the cloud and it's a cold day down near the earth, then that snow will actually make it all the way to the ground as snow. But snow is very particular. It can only form in a cloud that's really, really cold around it, or else it won't form into a snowflake. And the last one, hail, which is my personal favorite, is really, really unique because it's the only one of the four types of precipitation that has to come from a severe thunderstorm. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of thunderstorms that we see here after school on some summer days where we get a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning, maybe some rain. I'm talking the really severe thunderstorms that the weatherman makes an announcement, tells you to go inside. What happens is these storm clouds can be thousands and thousands and thousands of feet tall. And in that storm cloud, a piece of rain, a raindrop can fall, but the winds are churning up and down and left and right and all around. And that raindrop gets blown up higher in the atmosphere and freezes into a piece of sleet. But then it falls back down through the rain area and gets rain on top of that piece of ice. And it goes back up and freezes and goes back down and gets more water. And it goes up and down and up and down. And eventually that little piece of ice gets bigger and bigger. Now here's the catch. The worse the storm, meaning the stronger the winds, the bigger the piece of hail. If it's just a so-so storm and it's not so strong, you might get little tiny pieces of hail. But if it's a really strong and a really nasty, severe storm, that hail could get really big. You can even find pictures of hail, the size of baseballs or grapefruit. And you can imagine if a piece of ice fell from thousands of feet up in the air and landed somewhere near you, it can be really dangerous. It can destroy homes, it can destroy cars, and it can even hurt people. So those are the four types of precipitation, and the key to which type of precipitation forms has to do with temperature. If it's below freezing, you could have snow, sleet, or hail. If it's above freezing, then you could have rain.